Patriots, you are not going to believe what happened today at Jesse Jackson's funeral. I was just getting ready to lay down, been up since about 5 this morning, got my work done, and came across my feed clips from the funeral. And Obama spoke. They had the radical preacher from Atlanta, Jamal Jeffrey. I can forget his last name, Jamal Bryant, and who is, a guy that's cheated on his wife. Like I said, just a clown show. And they literally turned this funeral after the son requested for it to remain respectful and honoring his dad. The Democrats turned it into a political rally. And at that rally, Obama also spoke, but they gave Joe Biden the mic. And Joe Biden just literally single-handedly caused the biggest fleeing of the Democrat Party from Black Americans you will ever see in the history of the world. I'm talking about even after the Emancipation Proclamation, probably, because the things that he said, the disrespect that he gave the crowd, and as the clips are going viral, people are blasting Joe Biden. And so I want to show you those clips because we're going to start it off with the biggest lie that he told, and that's about the Supreme Court justices and the first Black Supreme Court justice. Listen to the bold-faced lie Joe Biden tells.
I appoint the first Black justice to the Supreme Court. And the Foreign Relations Committee. The real benefit of that was...
So you'd still like to serve on the Supreme Court?
I'd rather die than withdraw from the process. Not for the purpose of serving on the Supreme Court, but for the purpose of not being driven out of this process. I would not be scared. I don't like bullies. I've never run from bullies. I never cry uncle, and I'm not going to cry uncle today, whether I want to be on the Supreme Court or not.
I appoint the first Black justices.
You heard Joe Biden say that he appointed the first Black Supreme Court justice, right? And he couldn't have did more than the opposite. As a matter of fact, Joe Biden tried to bully and get Clarence Thomas out of pursuing being a Supreme Court justice. As a matter of fact, I've got 2 clips that I want to show you because what these clips are doing going viral now, because people have only been sold, especially Black people. Let me tell you, the way Clarence Thomas is sold to the Black community, especially inner city, is sell out, Uncle Tom, right? And the Democrats control that media. And so the only picture that they've ever had has been a Democrat picture. So they don't go look him up and research or anything like that at all. As a matter of fact, for a lot of people, the very first time they're ever going to hear Clarence Thomas speak is going to be in that clip. And they're going to see somebody that's strong, that's confident, and anybody that's a Democrat that's flipped to conservative, I don't care what color they are, especially Black people that are Republicans, that are MAGA specifically, they completely see it and they know exactly what it is that was happening, except it was on steroids back then because it was so few public Black Republicans and the Democrats' control was so buried, the average person would have had no idea. Matter of fact, it might have killed them if they knew then what we know now, if that makes sense. So let's look at Joe Biden, who did the absolute opposite. He tried to bully this man. He was disrespectful. Check out these 2 clips. And this is why I say he single-handedly just sunk the Democrat Party because he's going to cause people to go back and look and research. And for the record, Thurgood Marshall in 1967 was the very first Black Supreme Court justice. Clarence Thomas was the next. And look at Joe Biden's performance in this. I appreciate you for watching this. Check this out.
Good morning, Judge. Welcome to the blinding lights. Finding out what you mean when you say that you would apply the natural law philosophy to the Constitution is, in my view, the single most important task of this committee.
Senator Biden was very focused on natural law. How did that go?
Who knows? I have no idea what he was talking about.
I just want to make sure we all know what we're talking about here, that you and I know at least what we're talking about here. There's a fervent and aggressive school of thought that wishes to see natural law further inform the Constitution than it does now, argued against by the positivist led by Judge Bork. Now, again, that may be lost on all the people. You know and I know what we're talking about.
I have to be perfectly honest with you. You sit there and you have no idea what they are talking about. All I know is that he was asking me these questions about natural law.
Someone may apply it in a way, like Moore, who leads him in a direction that is, quote, liberal. You may apply it in a way that leads you in a direction that's conservative. Or you may, like many argue, not apply it at all. But it is a fundamental question that is going to be almost impossible for non-lawyers to grasp in an exchange. But you know, and I know, it is a big, big deal. And in conclusion,
One of the things you do in hearings is you have to sit there and look attentively at people you know have no idea what they're talking about.
Now, check out this next clip, because in this one, this is where there's an FBI report that clears Judge Thomas. Matter of fact, gives a recommendation for Judge Thomas for the Supreme Court. Listen to what Joe Biden says about this recommendation from the FBI. Check this out. And Democrats have tricked people in believing they're a party for the people of color. No, they're not. They literally despise it. They've never changed. They still the party of Jim Crow, the KKK. It never changed. And Republicans have and always will be the party for the people.
and the last thing I'll point out, the next person that refers to an FBI report as being worth anything obviously doesn't understand anything.
Now, if you're enjoying this video, do me a solid and hit that thumbs up, because I'll never ask you for a cash app, a super chat, or even a donation. But you hitting that like button, it really does help the channel get the video out there. And if you aren't subscribed already, subscribe. And when you do, please make sure that you hit the notification bell and then select where it says all. That way, YouTube will make sure that you get notified whenever I upload new videos.
FBI explicitly does not, in this or any other case, reach a conclusion. Period. So, Judge, there's no reason why you should know this. The reason why we cannot rely on the FBI report, you wouldn't like it if we did, because it is inconclusive. They say he said, she said, and they said, period. So when people wave an FBI report before you, understand, they do not reach conclusions. They do not make, as my friend points out more adequate, they do not make recommendations. Judge. And the last thing,
That's a mean man. You can see it. Now, it gets worse, okay? So here, Joe Biden, oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. That was Clinton. Now, on this scene, Joe Biden is going to be the most honest that he probably has been with the American people in, probably his whole career. And I want you to listen to what he says, but listen to it in a form of double speak and ask yourself, what audience is he really speaking to? Is it the Americans as a whole, or is it to a select small group? But just listen to the words. Check this out.
Because there's bad times like now. We're in a tough spot, folks. We got an administration that doesn't share any of the values that we have. And I don't think I'm exaggerating a little bit. Because there's bad times like now.
What do you think? Is that message for the macro or for the micro? I believe it's for the micro. Now, here, he decides that he's going to disrespect black people to the fullest right here. This is where Joe Biden tells an entire room, audience of black people, that he's smarter than most of them. Not joking around. Check this out.
If I told you all earlier, when I was a kid, I had a cleft palate or club foot, none of you would have laughed. But it's okay to laugh at stuttering. I'm not being critical of you, but think about it. It's the one place where people think you're stupid. Oh, really? I'm a hell of a lot smarter than most of you. But all kidding aside,
As a rule, oh my goodness. Now, I'm going to wrap it up and let you listen to Barry. Now, Barry's delivery is extremely funny. But again, they took a funeral that's supposed to be to honor the Reverend Jesse Jackson, and with all due respect, him passing away, respect due to his family, just as a human being and as a person, fine. But when you know the reality, the real deal, you understand that Jesse Jackson was a man, and that I believe that the accomplishments were sold that were the selling of the product was far greater than the actual product itself. Because I'm unable to tell you one piece of legislation or anything that has been done by Reverend Jesse Jackson that has benefited the black community. Can you? I mean, if somebody can, please let me know. I believe that he was always sent in like Al Sharpton to calm black people down. I believe corporations would pay him to say, hey, they about to get excited. They about to tear things up. They about to boycott us. He'd go in, give a hardcore speech and say, I am somebody. Everybody feels so good. And they go home proud that they said that they are somebody. But guess what they're not doing? They're not boycotting anymore. They're not picketing anymore. Look at all the times Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson got involved. On the heels of all of the stuff that's taking place in the country right now, seniors, it's extremely important that you make sure you've got the best Medicare plan available, because this year, Medicare plans are expected to increase 10%. And that's $215 out of your Social Security check. And guess what? Some of your doctors may not be in network. Some of your prescriptions may no longer be covered. And that would suck for you to be going to visit your doctor to find out they're not in network, or for you to need a prescription to find out it's no longer covered. Why take the risk? With Chapter, you can reach out to Chapter, and a free phone call can last as short as only 20 minutes and speak to one of the highly skilled, unbiased professionals that will help you make sure you got the best Medicare plan available. If you've got the best, great. But if not, they can make sure you've got what you need. So use that number there on the screen, or visit the website at askchapter.org/realpolitics and let Chapter make sure you've got everything you need. There was nothing more than to give a strong speech, take control of the situation, calm people down. And at the end of the day, what really did anybody get? Nothing. But you see them elevate. They get TV shows. They're all around the country speaking. They become the spokesman for a community that they don't even live within anymore. But that's a whole nother conversation. Check this out.
We are living in a time when it can be hard to hope. Each day we're told by those in high office to fear each other and to turn on each other, and that some Americans count more than others, and that some don't even count at all. Everywhere we see greed and bigotry being celebrated, and bullying and mockery masquerading as strength.
And when you hear that, y'all, don't think about that as him speaking about MAGA. Think about it as him telling an autobiography of his party. And I really believe this is what they do. This is their way to applaud it, but it's a double speak. Think about why. Listen to it from a double speak point of view.
We see science and expertise denigrated, while ignorance and dishonesty and cruelty and corruption are reaping untold rewards every single day. We see that. And it's hard to hope. But this man, Reverend Jesse Jackson, inspires us to take a harder path. His voice calls on each of us to be heralds of change, to be messengers of hope, to step forward and say, send me. Wherever we have a chance to make an impact, whether it's in our school, or our workplaces, or our neighborhoods, or our cities. Not for fame, not for glory, or because success is guaranteed,
Glory.
because it gives our life purpose.
You hear Obama try to put that country swag on there for glory. Man, these folks are so fake. But I just wanted to bring you this clown show and show you that the Democrats just can't help themselves. They just cannot help themselves. That is so disrespectful what they did. They should be ashamed of themselves. And it all started off with that pastor. I didn't even want to play what he said. I wanted to get straight to Joe Biden and listen to the hypocrisy. And listen, when you listen to what Obama was saying, and don't think about it as him talking about MAGA. Really think about him as speaking out loud what it is that they do. Yeah, turn the sides on the head. If you take it like MAGA, then that means you're the crazy one. I would say you're right. Yep, y'all are doing that. You are. Yeah, we're denigrating as, taking insecurity, denigrating it as power. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. Y'all are weak. You acting like you're so strong till strength what shows up. Then men run away, people cow down and scream and cry. All of a sudden they're mothers and they don't know what they're doing. And yeah, so, weakness masquerading as strength. Like all of the things that he say, if you don't look at it from a personal standpoint, you can listen to what Obama said and it not bother you at all, because you're like, yep, you're right. Listen to him. He's really talking about themselves. When you can separate that and say, why would I take it personal like he's talking about MAGA when I know we're not any of those things? Let me listen to this thing again. And then you say, holy crap, he's really telling out loud what his folks are doing and applauding them publicly without doing it in a way that the average listener will catch on. You have to really listen and not take it personal to catch it. I encourage you, listen again and listen to it from that point of view. It'll change everything when you listen to these demon rats speak. And then there's other times where they just talk such lunacy that you can't help but want to lose your mind. But I just wanted to bring that to you. So, hey, man, leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about it. Do you think Joe Biden showed his racist ways back in the day with Clarence Thomas? And couldn't help but bring it out today. Do you think it hurt the Democrats? And if you stayed and watched it, I want to say thank you so much from the top and bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. If you haven't already, hit that like button. And if you are not subscribed already, subscribe. Most importantly, make sure that you stay safe and that you be great. I'm going to get ready to go in the house and go to bed. I'm Brian Maxwell. I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.